Okay, I want to record this before Gideon realises that I'm using his cat tab to put the camera on again, because that didn't go so well last time when he invaded halfway through. And before I have any wine, I've already I was just cooking some cauliflower cheese, and I apparently set some things on fire. That shouldn't be possible when you're cooking cauliflower cheese, but you know, I'm quite talented, obviously. Right, there was news today of a court case that's happening for two supporters of Just Stop Oil, Rajan and Niamh, who threw some orange cornstarch powder on Stonehenge earlier this year. Now, this caused a lot of mixed reactions. Obviously, it is a sacred site to many people. It's an ancient monument, and we shouldn't diminish that at all. It means an awful lot to an awful lot of people. It means a lot to me, actually. However, the outrage that this has caused and the criminal charges this has caused just seems completely disproportionate. I mean, they threw some orange cornstarch. This is a natural powder, but some stones that have been standing there for, is it 5,000 years or so? Maybe more, maybe less, I'm not sure. These stones have been leaned against by people. They've been leaned against by animals, no doubt. They've fallen over. They've been put back up again. They've been eroded by the wind and the rain. They've been carved into. They've had moss and lichen growing on them. Oh yeah, the moss and lichen weren't damaged by the orange powder either. It's just, but I'll tell you what it did do, them doing this, it created a media explosion. It gave Just Stop Oil a platform to talk about how oil and gas companies are destroying all that we hold sacred and making massive amounts of money as a result from it. If you don't take these actions, unfortunately, holding a placard at the side of the road peacefully and will not attract the media attention, but doing something like running onto a rugby pitch, or so streakers, you know, that always gets in the news, doesn't it? Or throwing powder, orange cornstarch, let's just emphasize that again, at Stonehenge, does get the attention, allows a platform for people to speak on a very real threat to life at the moment. I mean, Keir Starmer came out and said it was outrageous that people were throwing powder at an ancient monument, destroying an ancient monument. I mean, what did he say? The damage done to Stonehenge is outrageous, is what he said. And Niamh and Rajan have been charged with destroying or damaging an ancient monument. Now, as far as I can tell, that Stonehenge is still there. It's not damaged. Just Rajan and Niamh are being put through a criminal process, when actually the people that should be being put through the criminal process and tried are the oil and gas execs who are making billions of pounds every year at our expenses. And the politicians that are in their pocket, they receive thousands of pounds worth of bribes. I'm going to call them bribes because I think that's what they are. They'll be called donations probably, you know, and fossil fuel execs get to see the government every day if they want to. They've got access to the inner chambers of Whitehall. So it's no wonder that, you know, the current government are pursuing carbon capture and storage off the back of liquefied natural gas burning. The fossil fuel industry, the oil and gas industry, is moving to, they're investing millions and millions of pounds in liquefied natural gas production, which we then burn to create electricity, and they're greenwashing it. They're saying this is fine, even though the methane leaks from it are incredible. And this government are investing £22 billion in carbon capture and storage. So at the end of that process, when it's been extracted, it's been transported, it's burnt for electricity, we capture the emissions and store them under the North Sea. You're only capturing the emissions from the very end of the process for a start, and that technology is not proven at scale. So again, the fossil fuel industry are trying to extend the life of oil and gas industry and make as much money as possible. But when somebody throws some orange cornstarch at Stonehenge, they get put in court. Why aren't we trying the real criminals, really? Why aren't we outraged about what they're doing? Well, I mean, look at our utility bill prices, the gas, electricity prices. They're currently tied to, unfortunately, oil and gas prices still. Why aren't they tied to renewables? Oh, because then the oil and gas companies won't make as much money. I mean, the whole system is fucked, isn't it, really? When we're putting peaceful protesters in prison for weeks or months, actually. Noah's still in prison, 19. He hasn't even been to trial yet. He's been in prison for 4 or 5 months. It's completely screwed. It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, rather than imprisoning people that are trying to raise the alarm, why don't we look at the people that are causing the floods in Norfolk, where I live, or down the road in Tenbury Wells, or over in Wales, or in Valencia, where people are having to drag bodies out of the mud, or the farmers that are having a really hard time with crop failure at the moment. Why don't we look at the people that are causing that? These oil and gas companies like Shell, ExxonMobil, Total, all of them, they don't care. In fact, they're doubling down on investments in fossil fuels. They spend a minuscule amount on renewables, and then liquefied natural gas, which is greenwash, as I say. My room really is quite smoky from the cauliflower cheese burning incident. I'm going to have to fix that in a minute, so I better go. But yeah, maybe you can show some support for the people on trial at the moment for Stonehenge. As I say, it's a sacred ancient monument and that should be respected, but the orange cornstarch did no damage whatsoever, but it did raise the alarm, didn't it? Everyone saw that in the news and gave a platform for speaking about this, and it shouldn't be them on trial. It should be the oil and gas companies, the people that are doing the real damage. Yeah, right, I better go and get the smoke out of my house and maybe have a glass of wine. Cheers.